Hey everybody, Chris Lynn here from Tribefit, and excuse me while I'm in the kitchen and I'm just making my morning shake while doing this live. I'm a little bit later than I usually am on a weekly basis, grabbing out the all of the stuff you can see there. We've got, basically this is my usual morning. We've got LSA, oats, hemp seeds, other seeds, coconut, or shredded coconut, and some nuts and some spirulina. There you go there. Give it a couple of seconds while people jump in on the session, and we've got a bit of protein powder as well. And go through the tip of the week that we've got this week. And it's a pretty exciting one, pretty interesting one, and a pretty relevant one for a lot of people, and stuff that I'm seeing or hearing lots of questions about lately. Now, if you are there and you can hear me loud and clear, give me some thumbs up, give me some emojis, emoticons, whatever you would call them. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. And then I will rip into it. If you've got any questions, it's a live Q&A at the same time. I'm going to go through the tip. It's a live Q&A at the same time. Or if you've got anything you'd like me to clarify on what I talk about today, just jump in. Like if I go through stuff too fast, let me know. But as I mentioned, for those of you just jumping in on it, this has kind of been my staple for, I would say, a good couple of years. It makes sure that you get the nutrients you need. It's nice, quick, and easy. I'm just here in my kitchen. As you can see there, we've got a new fridge. Just yesterday, it's still got the sticker on it. Anyway, if you've got any questions, fire away down below. And I'm going to jump into the learning for the week. If I go too fast on stuff, let me know. I can backtrack, all of that stuff as well. Now, imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is something I'm hearing from a lot of people talking about. If you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's a very complicated word or term to basically explain how some people, when they build their businesses, when they do whatever they do, they feel a disconnect between who they're supposed to be or who they feel like their market or their business needs them to be and who the person they truly are. And that misalignment, right? Misalignment is alignment is key in business. Alignment is key in life. Alignment is key in everything. And lack of alignment is what causes people to second guess themselves. It causes people to feel bad or weird with what they're doing. It causes people to freeze up and not move forward in certain things. So if you've ever experienced these sorts of things and gone, okay, well, I don't like doing that, or am I truly an expert, or am I good enough to talk about this or to help clients with that, or am I good enough to charge, the prices that Chris keeps telling me that I need to be charging and everyone else charges, this is a sign of imposter syndrome, because you don't feel confident. You feel like an imposter. You feel like you're trying to be someone that deep down in your subconscious, you don't believe you are, right? And generally for me, it comes about when people are starting businesses and they feel like all of a sudden they need to be this, quote unquote, entrepreneur. They need to be like other entrepreneurs. They need to be like, Elon Musk, and they need to do cool stuff and live a cool life for people to care about what they do or what they think. I've just spilled a little bit of spirulina here. And they try and be this fake person. They try and be this person that they think they need to be or they need to look like, rather than being who they truly are. And that's what creates misalignment, right? You can see the green teeth there from spirulina. Phenomenal. And actually, while I'm doing this, let me know, write down below what you eat for breakfast. I would always like to hear what other people do, any other tips, and whether you like things like spirulina or whatnot. Comment down below on that. But anyways, back onto it. So trying to be something that you're not creates misalignment. And let me tell you, there is only so much in your life, in your journey, in your business journey, in your personal life, where you can fake it till you make it. The concept of fake it till you make it. And really, there's only so far, so long that you can pretend to be something that you're not before you start to resent it. Before you start to wake up in the morning and go, you know, that's not really for me. I thought it was, or I'm not really that person. It doesn't come natural. You know, things take a lot more energy than they should to get done. And all of a sudden you start to become stagnant in your business, right? Because to do one thing, it takes you more energy than it should. And so you're drained, so on and so forth. So the key to imposter syndrome is realizing that no one really wants to buy or get help from a perfect being. And in marketing and sales, vulnerability is a powerful thing. Like, people feel like they need to be this perfect being. They need to be this entrepreneur. They need to be this business person. They need to talk perfectly. They can't stutter. They can't make mistakes. They can't, so on and so forth. And all of those things create vulnerability. And vulnerability is what allows people to connect with you on a personal and personality level, right? And as they say, people buy from people. People want to connect with people. Like, we are all, if you go back in evolution, we are all social beings. What are we on right now? A social media. Why? Because we want to connect with people. We want to have relationships with people. We want to see what people are doing in their life and whatnot. And that's all built through evolution. And there's been this massive shift, right? In back in the day, businesses, there only used to be grand mammoth businesses that had no personality, that had no face to them, that had nothing other than just this corporation. And now there's been this massive shift to the social media world, where people want to connect with other real people. They don't want to buy from huge corporations. They prefer to buy from, local businesses, sustainable businesses, people that are on the same vibe and level as them, right? Because they want to connect. They don't want to, they're sick of these grand corporations that have no face, have no personality, are perfect, and so on and so forth. And the concept is something I was just speaking about before with someone, is Batman versus Superman. And this is something I learned from one of the world's best copywriters in America. He's a guy called Bob Bly. Big shout out to you, mate. I had the pleasure to work with him when I was a couple of years younger. And he took me through this concept. Best copywriter in the world, and copywriting's for ads, ebooks, newsletters, newspapers, TV, everything, right? And he took me through this concept called Batman versus Superman, right? And hopefully this helps explain everything I'm going through today. When Marvel, I think Marvel did Batman and Superman, when they create these characters way back when, they all in their big office thought they created this Superman character and they created this Batman character. And they were like, well, Superman's super powerful. He's awesome. He's phenomenal. He's going to make us really rich because people are going to want to buy everything about Superman. And they all thought Batman wasn't going to be that popular. But then, like, many years down the path, they've looked at the stats and it's like Batman, anything to do with Batman, like, outsells anything to do with Superman. I think it was 7 or 8 to 1. 7 or 8 times more successful Batman, anything to do with Batman, than Superman. And it really puzzled all the executives. They're like, why isn't Superman more popular? And you look at the Superman movies. No one really likes the Superman movies. There's been hundreds of Batman movies, right? It's obvious, right? And they were puzzled. And it wasn't until they sat with a great marketer and the marketer explained Superman is this perfect being. He can't die. He does everything perfect. He can fly. He's super strong. Batman is like you and me. He's just an average, everyday person who put on a mask, put on a suit, and can be injured, can be hurt, can be killed, and he's got some cool tools, right? Toys and all that sort of stuff. But he's a real person. And people connect with that vulnerability. People connect with that weakness, right? People connect with that vulnerability, the mistakes, whatever it might be. And I'm going to bring this back to imposter syndrome. Now, when people start businesses or are in their business or for however long and they're feeling a misalignment, it is because they're trying to be Superman in everything they do. Any sales talk anytime they speak to a new prospect, anytime they speak to a client, anytime they write a post, anytime they write an email. They want everything to be perfect. They need to come across as this polished, perfect being. And people can't relate with that, right? So that's where people get less success than they should. If you were able to show some of your vulnerabilities, your pains, your mistakes, that you can be hurt, that you're real, one, it becomes easier. It gets rid of imposter syndrome, is point 2. And 3, you will actually be more successful. You'll get more clients, you'll keep more clients, you'll be able to charge higher, you'll get better engagement in everything you do because people can connect with you and that's what they want. They don't want to connect with a zombie or a robot that has no emotions, has no vulnerabilities. They want to connect with a real person. So hopefully, if you suffer from things like imposter syndrome, it's generally because you're trying to be what you think you need to be. But in actual fact, you're hurting your business success and you're actually creating more stress and difficulty for yourself in a day-to-day basis. If that makes sense, comment down below. If you've got any questions on that, if I've gone too fast, let me know on that as well. So we've gone through imposter syndrome. I've also talked about how to create less anxiety and stress in your business. Now, this is another thing, right? Way too many people are focused on the future and they're always living in the future. You know, in a year's time, I'm going to be rich. In a year's time, I'm going to have a better car. In a year's time or 5 years' time, I'm going to have a better house. And let me tell you, like it is a known fact, Alcohol Anonymous came up with it. All the psychologists have backed on it. Living in the past or living in the future creates depression or anxiety. Living in the past or living in the future too much is what creates anxiety and depression in human beings. Living in the present is what makes us most optimal. Living in the present. Now you need to have one eye on the future. You can't look on the past. You can learn from the past, but you can't dwell on mistakes in the past because you can't fix them. And that creates depression. If you are always present and always in the current state, you will be happy, but you won't have goals. You won't be moving towards things. So you need to have one foot rooted in the present, and you need to have an eye on the future. Goal setting and future paths and plans, like that's future. And what you want to do and where you want to get to and what are you going to get when you get there. But you can't live there. You need to live in today. You need to enjoy the journey, but have one eye on the future. And way too many people have themselves completely in the future at all stages. That they wake up every morning, they're like, shit, what did I get done yesterday? Oh, I didn't get done as much as I wanted. I'm not any closer to my goals. I don't have that Ferrari in the driveway yet. I'm getting older. Another birthday's gone past and I feel like a failure, so on and so forth. It creates anxiety. So if you suffer from those things, consciously recognize that you're living in the future or living in the past too much. Bring it back to present day living. There's things, you know, mindfulness apps. It only takes like 5 minutes a day. Grateful journals is probably one of my biggest tips. And now you might be listening to this and going, this sounds like, you know, mumbo jumbo stuff. I said that like 4 or 5 years ago whenever I get recommended from people that were much more successful than me. They'll say, Chris, do this, do this. And I shied away from it because I'm like, oh, it just sounds like spiritual BS stuff that I'm not really into. And I rejected it and I kept away from it. It wasn't until I actually go, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to do something that I generally don't like to do and do something new and just see what it's like. And after doing it, it takes like 30 seconds at night. I have a little diary next to my bed to write down minimum 3, maximum 10 things that I'm really happy for that day. And what that does is it grounds me in the present, makes me happy about my journey, my day. But I also have goals and I plan out on a week, on a month, on a yearly basis and on a 5-year basis. But doing that grateful stuff and doing that mindfulness, like meditation, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't do it every day. That is what allows you to enjoy the journey, have better energy levels, and actually be more successful. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any comments, questions, comment down below. I've got my shake here. I'm about to shake it up. We'll blend it up and chuck in half a banana and head off to the office here. I'm in the kitchen of the house while I make brekkie. Let me know if you've got any comments or questions on that. Got a couple of faces on the session, which is awesome. If you've got any other questions, there's live Q&A. I'll be here for another minute or two. Hopefully some of that stuff has resonated, depending on where you are in your journey. Hopefully it's giving you the clarity that you need. And imposter syndrome, we've gone through. Batman vs Superman, we've gone through. And we've also gone through stress, reducing stress and anxiety in your business. Stress is a killer. You've probably heard that 1,000 times. Depending on how much background you have in body physiology, there's a hormone called cortisol. If you're stressed, cortisol is high. And if cortisol is high all the time, you are, unfortunately going to have a lot of health issues as you get older. You're probably not going to live as long as you should. But that's like the future stuff. The here and the now is if your cortisol is high, your energy levels are drained and zapped. So if you ever feel like you're exhausted in the morning and you shouldn't be, and you've had a big sleep, or you feel like you're just rooted by the end of the week, and other people seem to have more energy than you, then it's a sign that your cortisol levels are too high, your stress levels are too high, and you need to implement some of the stuff that I've talked about in today's session. Once you manage that, guess what? Your energies go up, and guess what happens when your energies go up? You get more done, you get more success, you move forward faster, and you get to your goal faster as well. Hence why it is important about your success, and it's also important for your fun, your enjoyment, your happiness. So it's a pretty powerful thing. That's it from me. Love to see all the faces there. Hopefully you are well. If you have any questions, if you want to get more clients, if you want to get more consistency in your online coaching business, if you want predictability, if you want to be able to charge what you're worth and get clients chasing you rather than you having to chase them 24/7 and grind and hustle just to try and make ends meet, reach out to me, send me an email, chris@tribefit.co, chris@tribefit.co, not .com, but .co, chris@tribefit.co, or you can send me a DM on my personal level, personal account that's obviously on this live. That's it from me. Have a killer week, and like I said, reach out to me if you've got any questions, need any help with anything, and we can get you getting the success, the impact, and the income that you deserve in 2021. Bye for now.